Marky Plays War Games. Few things that I want to talk to you about today. I think the big one is the state of the new Warhammer, Age of Sigmar. Now, there's been a lot of hoo-ha about Age of Sigmar, and quite frankly, I know that the wargaming community as a whole doesn't like change. But I'm actually quite excited to see how it pans out. I don't mind it. I'm interested to play a couple of games. I haven't played Warhammer in a long time. I think it was since seventh edition. But I'm interested to give it a go. Just, why the hell not? So, see how Age of Sigmar pans out. It's simplified rule set, most definitely. But I like the rules that they're giving for existing armies. Not really too keen on the undead rules, I have to say, but for either the Tomb Kings or the vampire counts. I like the rules for the vampires though. Vampires have got some good rules. But overall, I like what they've done with it. It's okay, the fluff is a little bit iffy, but overall, I like what they've done with it. Anyways, moving on from that, we go back to my my area of expertise, which is Mantic and Kings of War. Now, Mantic have just released the free rule set for Kings of War 2nd edition, and I've had a look at them, and I really do like it. It's, if you played Kings of War already, then you're going to be familiar with this rule set, but there's a couple of little tweaks and things that they've done. One of the most obvious is going to be the fact that wizards now have access to a lot of spells. It's not just zap or heal or surge or whatever. Surge is now a spell. Heal is a spell. You've got lightning, which replaces zap. You've got fireball. And they all do different things, and each wizard has access to different spells. And a lot of wizards can actually also buy additional spells. So, for example, an undead necromancer might already have access to surge, which means he can push shambling units forwards. He may then be able to purchase heal. He may be able to purchase lightning bolt. That aspect of it, I think, is a good idea. There's only about 6 or 8 spells, but there doesn't need to be any more, really. It's Kings of War has always exemplified on its simplicity, and why make it any more complicated than it needs to be? So that's one thing that I like about it. I like how they've also tied the characters into their unit type. So you've got hero infantry or hero cavalry. The hero type means that it's an individual, essentially. and then its subtype means the other rules that it follows. So if it's hero cavalry, it will be on a cavalry base, and if it's a large cavalry, it means it will be on a larger square base, and the rules then follow on from that. From what I can see though, aside from that, there's not an awful lot of difference with the original rules and the second edition rules. There may be one or two tweaks, sort of, if I'm going to have to read it in more detail. But all in all, it's still a very, very solid system, and I still think it is actually quite possibly the best mass fantasy battle system out there. We're going to go on to something a little bit different now. A little bit of a sidetrack from Kings of War. Is actually, before we do this, there's a rumour that I've heard, although it has been confirmed by a couple of sources kicking about, that Mantic are going to release some rule sets for other companies' ranges of models to be officially used in their tournaments. Now, to me, that just stinks of awesomeness. Because quite frankly, how better to get people into the game than say, yeah, you've already got a load of models, you can use them. So I think that is a damn good move by Mantic, and quite frankly, their rule set was made before they had any models anyway. So, and going by some of the names of some of the units that they had, I think they were looking to kind of have some units used as some other ranges anyway. Buccaneers! I'm sorry, but I had to get that out. Buccaneers, Dark Elf Buccaneers, really? Yeah, anyway. I like the idea that they're going to incorporate other ranges models into their official tournament lists. I'd like to see how they do it. I'd definitely like to see the list that they come up with for Lizardmen, Games Workshop's Lizardmen. That'll definitely be interesting. But these things will happen. They will come out in an expansion, and it will definitely be interesting. Anyway, before I got derailed, I was going to talk to you about Dungeon Saga. Now, Dungeon Saga has always been a bit of a favourite, shall we say, because the first game that I played that introduced me into the world of wargaming and also into the world of RPGs was Warhammer Quest. And I love Warhammer Quest to bits. I love the fact that it was set in the Warhammer world, which is, very fruitful when it comes to fluff. And the characters are well developed, and the rule set is brilliant. And it's only been recently, actually, that I've been able to play Hero Quest. which I have to say, okay, I can understand it's a precursor. I actually still do prefer Warhammer Quest. I like the RPG element to it, and I like the fact that there's a random, unless you've got a GM, a games master, in which case they've mapped the dungeon out. You can have a random dungeon